and objects are the actual instances of that class. Yeah. So we have the class keyword, then the name of our class. We could try maybe car. Yeah, we just put a full colon. Yeah, if at all the brackets there are only important if at all maybe you are importing from maybe there is a class you are importing, maybe parent class, not actually importing, inheriting. Yeah, but if it is just a normal class that is not inheriting anything, you can just leave it as it is. For now, let me just put this keyword pass. Yeah. Basically, pass is a keyword. Even I think in functions, go there when you just want to define something. When you just want to define something without actually it doing anything. Yeah, so that the program doesn't yell at you. So that is just our simple class, and we're trying to create an instance of that class using that. Yeah. So line 4 actually has created an instance of the car class, and that and this instance or this object is called Benz. Yeah, we can just try to type in the type. Actually, let's try to print. And then yeah, we have that. Yeah, and then when you try to run this, actually I'd forgotten to activate the virtual environment. Let me do that. Yeah, it's yeah. So I'm like Python, then snippet.py. Yeah, so basically, yeah, this is actually what I wanted to see. Yeah, car. Yeah, class main.car. Yeah, this one is just, it shows that this file we are running, actually this is the name of the module, yeah, of the file that is actually being run. Yeah. Yes. So, but this is what I wanted to do what to highlight on. Yeah. So basically, that is just that is just a simple class that shows what a simple class looks like in our Python program. Are we okay for now? Chitimbo, are we okay? All right, fantastic. Okay. Now at least we know most cars. Okay, they have tires. So actually, what we're going to do is just like when whichever class we create, the objects that usually when you're creating a class, we define the attributes and the methods. Yeah, just like any object has an attribute and has a methods. Yeah, so basically now, like for a car, we can have one attribute called tires. Maybe how many tires are they? There are 4. Then we have, maybe it has doors. Yeah, doors, and then of course also the doors are 4. Okay, Okay, I'm assuming this car has around maybe 6 tires and then 4 doors. Yeah, so these two that we have declared on line 2 and 3, these are actually class attributes. Yeah, by class attributes, that means they will be shared by all instances of the what of the class car. Yeah, so if by any chance we try to print out one of these, if at all I'll try to print out maybe Benz, and we use, of course, we use dot notation to access them. Yeah, if at all we try to print out Benz dot doors, yeah, we shall get 4 here exactly. When we try, so if at all we create another object, maybe there is a duster. It's also an instance of car. Yeah, and we try to print this. Now we have print of duster dot doors. Yes, this should also give us 4. Yeah, but supposing, okay, Benz, I come here and say Benz dot tires is equals to 7. I mean, okay, is equals to 8. What do you think? Line 8 and line 9 could output? Yeah. What do you think I will get there if at all I try to print out those two? Any guesses? Chitimbo or Sylvia, can you try out this one? Mercy, you can just type in the what? Chitimbo, 4 for which one? I want the solutions for line 8 and line 9. Is 4 for both of them? Okay, Chitimbo says 4 is for both. Then Sylvia says 4. Is it also for both? Let me get one more. Mercy and Caesar. Mercy and Caesar. Mercy and Caesar, I'm waiting for your feedback before I can try to run this program.
So, question.
When you look at our program, it's printing out 8. It's going to print out some values on 8 and 9. Yeah. And what do you think the values will be for our print statement for both 8 and 9?
Yes, print out. Okay. Okay, for 8, it will
for 8 it will
print out it would line 9 does, let me see, an instance of car. That's it. That's the car. I think it will print out 4.
4 for both.
Because both of them, Benz and Duster, are instances of car.
Okay, let's run it and see. Yeah, but thanks for trying.
And car has attributes, tires and doors. So if we say Benz dot Benz.doors. I'm expecting it to print out 4.
All right, thank you very much for
Duster.doors. Okay, I'm not even sure. I'm not sure of my answers, but I think it will print out 4 for both.
all right, thank you very much. Let's run the program and check it out. Yeah, so when I run, yeah, actually you're right, it prints out 4 for both, though what I actually meant, I wanted to change this to doors. Yeah, this is actually what I meant to do on line 7. Yeah, this is what I meant to do on line 7. Do we still get the 4 on line 8 and 9 even after making this change on line 7? This time round I've changed it. I've tried changing this attribute.
I didn't see that.
Actually, this one I've just changed it now.
Oh. Then for line 8 it will be 8.
Yeah, exactly. All right, thank you very much. Exactly, this is what happens. Anyway, the concept I wanted to bring out now, is called attribute shadowing. Yeah, by attribute shadowing I mean that in one or the other, actually, I've created another attribute. I've created an attribute on called doors on the Benz object. Yeah, and this one is kind of like this attribute doors is on the instance. It's not on the class. That's why this attribute 8 is not shared by dusters by the duster car, because the duster car only has the class attribute, but this kind of like this assignment here has kind of like overshadowed the class attribute on line on line 3. Yeah, so exactly, so that's why you see that it takes on this, it takes on the new value. And actually there is also the other way you can know that actually we can actually change this, or we can just create a new attribute here called Benz dot color, and we say, okay, this color is blue, right? Yeah, so we try to print Benz dot color, and then you can also try to print car dot color. Oh wait, car dot color. All right, what do you think we shall get here for line 11 and 12? You can just comment in the section. What values do you think we shall get here? Any guesses? Any guesses on the values? Chitimbo, Sylvia, are you there? Can you try to guess what the values we shall have for 11 and 12? Yeah, 11 will have blue. What about 12? What about 12? Exactly. Yeah, you guys are actually right. Yeah, 11 will give a value, but 12 won't. Yeah, actually it's an attribute error, because there is no class attribute called color that we defined here. Yeah, and color is only an instance variable that is not shared by the what? By the class. So actually, whatever the class has, the instances will have. But if an instance has something custom, then it is not shared with the class. Exactly. Yeah. But like you see, what we are doing here, it's kind of like let me say it's kind of like the hardware, or let me say the rudimentary way of doing things. We can do instead of setting instance attributes like this. There is an easier way we can do them, and I think you guys have also been using that kind of like analogy in should I in JavaScript. If I want to initialize some object attributes on creation, you are using something called a constructor. Yeah, but here instead of a constructor, we have something called init __ init. Actually, usually they call it a magic method. Yeah, yeah. They call it a magic method. Yeah, yeah. So what we and one thing you should know, just like in I think JavaScript, you have this keyword. Yeah, but in Python we have the self instead. Yeah, yeah. If at all, whenever we are in a class, in order to reference the class attributes, we have to use what? Self. But also now, like I'm taking an instance, supposing when a car is created, the color has to be given from the start. Yeah, okay. Then we can come here and say self dot color is equals to this color. Please also note that these two are totally different. This and this are totally different. This is what we shall put in, and this is kind of like the instance attribute we are creating. Yeah, maybe you can say colored. It's something like that. Yeah, yeah. All right. So yeah, once we have that, I want to try to create another object. But now actually, if I create it right now, it will yell because I've not inserted in the value of, because now once we do this, this init method will be called it will be called kind of like instantly. Yeah, so let me try to first call it before putting anything inside there. Yes. So you see we are getting a type error init missing one required what? Positional argument called color. All right. Yeah, so let me come here maybe and say red. Yeah, so if at all we do that now, yeah, it won't yell at us. Yeah, it won't yell at us. It will work very well. Yeah, and even when I try to print Benz.color, yeah, I should have something here. Yeah, I should get the red. Yeah. So basically, that is one method we have looked at. Maybe you can try to look at another, and maybe for this car, if at all we want this car to move, because if at all we want the car to move, that means that the tires should be moving. It's the tires that will be moving. Okay. So I'll have self, and like I said, when you're in a class, maybe we can say we can try to print and say we can say, hey, by the way, I forgot to mention about something called the f string. Yeah, with f strings they help us to put to put variables. Usually they help with string concatenation, like we're going to see. So maybe with move, maybe something like the car has moved. Then we are like has moved. Then you're like self dot tires, then plus maybe 2, and then steps. Yeah, so you're seeing because of this f we can do this. We can plug in a variable, it will be computed, and then it will be added onto the onto the string. So it will be one string. Yeah, so if at all we come here and we try to say Benz dot move, yeah, we should get something. Yeah, so it has said the car has moved 8 steps because it has gotten the 6 plus the 2 to get the 8. All right. Yeah, but we shall see functions. I mean, we shall see these classes very much as we go on. Yeah, like I said, with inheritance, you just have to put in the codes here, and we shall see most of this actually from the beginning in Django. We shall see most of these things happening. Yeah. All right. So basically, that is a short introduction to the Python classes and our own objects. And I think the best class for Python objects, I think, is called type. Yeah, but right now I don't think we need to dive into that. Yeah. So do you have any questions before we can try to dive into Django? Just a small introduction to Django. Do we have any questions so far? Chitimbo, are we okay? Sylvia, are we okay? All right. Yeah.
Just one.
Yes, please. You can ask.
On line 5, I see that init method. I really don't understand what init does.
Okay. Yeah, basically init, you can, if at all you're coming from JavaScript, you can think of it as a constructor, right? Yeah, but it is actually, in actual sense, it's not a constructor. Yeah, it is just it's called a magic method that is used to assign an object with initial values. Yeah, in Python there is another method called new, I think. Yeah, it's called new. The new method is the one that is called when they are creating an object. Yeah. So, but not to confuse you, it works almost the same as a constructor in that it initializes the object attributes. The mere fact that the reason why it has underscore, these two underscores in the front and back, they kind of like they tell Python that it's kind of like a special kind of method, and in this case it's called anything with 2 underscores in front and 2 underscores in the back. It's called a magic method, and these magic methods are called automatically, yeah, by Python. Yeah, because in most cases, actually, like I said, the best class is type, right? Yeah, so I'm assuming type has these methods defined somewhere as magic methods, so we're kind of like overriding, overriding them we are kind of like creating custom magic methods. Yeah, but in the long run, yeah, at this point here, when the object is called on line 14, yeah, when the object is created, yeah, this init method is called, and it is this attribute color is assigned the value red. And just like I said earlier on, this is an instance attribute. So if at all we try to do print car.color, I'm very sure we are going to get a what? We're going to get a type error like we did attribute error like we did last time, because this attribute doesn't belong to the class, but it belongs to the instance, which is the object, which is Benz. Have I made any sense in that explanation?
Yes, thank you.
Fantastic. All right. Yes. So let me try to clear this. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, for Django. Let me just try to maybe bring up their website. I think I shared this website last time. Yeah, but let me try to bring it up. So basically, they say Django is built for perfectionists with deadlines. Yeah, if at all you want to perfect your work, but in a very short time, yeah, you could use actually Django to make your work a bit easier and faster. Yeah. So I'll just punch this link into this just in case you want to check it out. Yeah, but basically Django is a web framework, of course. Yeah, that helps us to build better apps more quickly and with less code. Yeah, Django has a maybe the closest. These two are the Flask and Django. I think they are kind of like the heavyweights with regards to web development in using Python. Yeah. Though with Flask, it's called a micro framework, as in it lets you kind of like it doesn't constrain you to go one way or to use something. Yeah, you are free to use whatever you want. Now, like with Flask, you are free to use either as in you can use any templating engine you want. I'll also take you through some of those. You can use any database engine you want. You can decide not to use any and decode everything from scratch. But with Django, they say it comes kind of like with batteries included, as in comes with a lot of code that can help you move faster in your coding kind of like ventures. Yeah, but without wasting your time, I'm going to try. Actually, I'm going to use the same project. Yeah, I'm going to use the same project here. I'll just create a new folder here and just call it maybe snippets, and then I'll try to move these three there so that they don't confuse us. Hope they won't. Yes, so I'm going to move them. So all right, so they are in there. Yeah, so right now we are back to where we started. Well, we have our virtual environment here. It's the most important. Remember, this folder is for snippets, so let it not confuse you. Yeah, so while we're here, let me see actually what is installed here. Yeah, let me see what is installed there before I can try. Yes, so Django is not installed there, so we do pip install Django. Yes, so it will take some time, but finally it will finish. So it is installing Django 3.2.5. Yes. All right. So if we do the pip list again, we should have Django inside there. Actually, installing Django it also came up with this, and this, but just mainly just focus on Django. The rest we shall see what they do. Then the version is 3.2.5, yeah, which is the latest, yeah, which is nice. Okay, yeah. If you are developing with Django, you can always try to there are some factors you can look through now. Like if at all you go here and you say maybe Django end of life, I think, something like that. They kind of like they try to bring you kind of like a schedule to when they will stop supporting, yeah. And here in the dark green, they say, they tell you the mainstream support, then the extended support, yeah. I would always advise you to go for the LTS versions, yeah, LTS versions, which is long-term support, yeah. So right now we are working with 3.2, yeah. 3.2, the support will stop around 20 I think the first quarter of 2024, which is good, yeah. So it would be a good version to develop most of your projects, yeah. But one thing you should know, these ones, they kind of like, they test new features. So yeah, maybe if at all you have a hobby project, you can try to test with these short ones, yeah. But right now 3.2 is the current one, and yeah, the next long-term support will be 4.2, yeah. And I think it's also the same with operating systems. I don't know the cycle of Windows, but like when you go to Ubuntu end of life, yeah, they will also bring you the same scenario. So you'll know that either I'm working with a long-term support, or I'm working with a short-term support, yeah. It's taking a little bit of time, yeah, but when it does, we shall try to check it out. Guys, I'm back. Can you hear me? Yeah, the connection went down without me knowing. Yeah. Eric, can you hear me? If you can hear me, just type in the message here.
Can hear you, Emma.
Hey, fantastic. Just know the connection just went down abruptly. Yeah, but basically I was talking about this scenario of end of life. Now, like here, I was trying to give you an example of Ubuntu. For Ubuntu, yeah, right now I think the current LTS is 2.2.04. This is the current LTS. No, actually, the current is 20.04. This
Emma?
one. Yes, please.
You're not sharing screen.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me share. Are you seeing it now?
Yes.
All right. Like I was saying with Ubuntu, it's, I think for them they have a longer cycle for the long-term support. Now, like here, 20.04, it's the current one we are on. Yeah, the long-term support started in 2020 up to 2030. Those are around 10 years, which is really nice. Yeah. And the other one will come out in 2022. Yeah. So, but these short ones, they usually test features. They are really good, but I don't advise you to put them on a machine. And here they elaborate that the hardware and maintenance updates, I think the things to do with the drivers, maintenance updates, interim, and then extended. Yeah, kind of really nice. All right. So moving on, if I don't have any question about LTS and blah blah blah, we could have that discussion at a later time. Yeah. So I've installed Django. Like so when you install Django, first of all you have to create a project, and in Django we have this notion of one big project contains very many apps. Yeah. All right. Now, like if there is a command used, it's called Django admin, then start project, then the name of your project. I'll call mine maybe my site. Oh, now then there is this issue that usually confuses people. Like once you type in Django admin start project my site, it creates a folder called my site, and it creates another one inside there called my site. Yeah. So actually the one outside, it doesn't really mean anything. Even you can rename it and call it anything you want. Yeah. Maybe let me call it blah blah. But the one inside here, it's the actual project directory. Yeah. Yeah. So but some people don't really like this this kind of like naming. Yeah, it really confuses them. Yeah. So what I will do, I will delete this, and I will instead create the project again. But this time around, it's the same command: Django admin start project my site. Then I'll leave a space and put a dot. I'm like saying, okay, I want you to create the project inside that directory. Our main directory is lesson 2. That's where I want the project here. So when I press enter, I'll still get my site here, but now I've only gotten one my site. Yeah, that doesn't have an inside folder called my site. And then I also have manage.py. Yeah, so it is one folder, my site and manage.py. These two snippets and the virtual environment. I know you guys have worked with git ignore. So those ones you can just ignore. .git ignore. Then I can do git init. Yeah, so then I can, once before I deploy my project, actually I can just type in this these snippets, and then I also add in the virtual environment so that I can ignore them, and then for the other ones I can just push them. Yeah, so yeah, so that means we don't have to push our virtual environment. We don't have to push our virtual environment up there on GitHub. Yeah, but basically these two are the folders I'm talking about. My site and manage.py. And manage.py is actually a wrapper. Anything you saw us doing with Django admin, manage.py actually it's kind of like a wrapper around Django admin. And by the good thing with manage.py, as in it helps kind of like it is easier to use, and it will help us kind of like import some environment variables that Django admin couldn't do in case we are running. But for now, let's try to run our project. So running the project, we just do Python manage.py and then run server. Yeah. So Django comes actually with a development server. That is actually serving this site, and to access it, we just type this in our browser. Yeah. So if you see this, then you know that everything has gone well. Yeah. I give you this sample site that is running at port 8000. Yeah, very, very important here, the port. All right. Do you have any questions as per now before we can continue? So Sylvia is asking, so why does it create two folders instead of one? Yeah, I think it is just I don't know. That question is a bit tricky, but by default, that's what it does. In that, I think it's just a way of organizing your work better. For them, I think that's how they think that you'll organize your work better, because but like I said, if at all you don't want it, if at all it will confuse you. Like in the beginning, it actually, when I was starting Django, this kind of like this way of doing things confused me a lot until I got used to it. But then I discovered that actually that extra folder you can do away with it. Yes. Yeah, by using the notion I brought up here of
So what's the best practice?
yeah, usually in the beginning, so that you don't get confused, you just you just create your project in that folder, so that you can avoid the extra my site, or the extra project directory. I think there you won't get confused a lot. Yeah. So the best way would be a Django admin start project my site and then space full stop or dot to show that you want it exactly in that folder without the extra without the extra folder. Yeah, but basically now that our project has run, it shows that everything is working well. Hope I've answered you, Sylvia. So to look more into now, like manage.py, since I told you that it's a wrapper that helps you to almost all the commands we shall do in Django. We shall do them in this kind of way: Python manage.py run server. So it just helps us to run the commands like the way Django admin did, but this one still does the same thing but a little bit easier. And also there is now we look in detail into this my site directory that was created. One thing you should note, my site directory has a file called init__init__.py. This is actually a file. What is the relevance of this file in this folder called my site? Any guesses? Chitimbo, Mercy, or Samuel? Samuel, you are very silent today. What do you think this init.py signifies in our directory? Any guesses? Chitimbo. What do you think? What do you think it signifies?
I think it initiates the Python program when you try to run the site. It's a random guess.
Okay. Thank you very much for trying. It actually whatever folder you see in a what in a folder, whatever folder that in whichever folder you open and you find underscore init.py, whether it is empty or it has something, it actually signifies that this folder is a package. Yeah, and that is one thing I'd actually forgotten to talk about. Packages and modules. Yeah, and modules. Yeah, modules. Anything you see that ends in .py. Yeah, it's a module. Yeah, and when you have these modules and you want to collectively group them, that group they make a package. Yeah, so a package is just a collection of modules. Yeah, and actually the module names are these names you see here before the what, the extensions. So asgi.py, the module is called asgi. Like you see, we are also going to be importing a lot of things, so I'll explain most of these concepts. So settings is the module name. Settings.py is the name of the file. Yeah, just like you see. Yeah, but wherever you see this file init underscore init__.py, it shows that this folder is a what, is a package. Though in these days in later versions of Python, it is no longer enforced in that whether you have it or you don't have it, they will regard the package as they will regard the folder as a package. But yeah, I advise it always include it there, so that at least in case maybe your project may run an old version of Python, it could help. Yeah, this PyCache, this one is not very important actually. Like you hear it is cache. Yeah, you can delete it. Yeah, anytime you run, some cache will be created, just like the browser cache. asgi.py is just if at all you are on an ASGI supported server, it will look for this file as the main entry point for your to your project. Yeah, if at all the server is ASGI, if you are told your server supports ASGI applications, the same thing with WSGI. I won't tell you I know the full meaning, but I'll try to Google it up. Yeah, but one thing I know, these two are the entry points for the server to your project. Yeah, depending on which server it is, it can either be an SGI server or it can be a WSGI server. Yeah, so and actually we won't be touching these two or editing them, won't be touching them at all. Yeah, so in this project folder, the main files we're going to look at is settings.py and urls.py, and of course, settings.py, that's why all your settings will go, all your Django settings. Maybe the easiest setting I usually love to make when beginning my project is I go here to the time zone and change this to Africa, then / Kampala. Yeah, so it will help if at all I'm going to work with dates, blah blah blah. It will kind of like give me the right times to work with. Yeah, Africa is with capital A and Kampala is with capital K. But it will depend. I think there is a Wikipedia page that has all the time zones that you need. I remember when the project was starting, it showed us that we were running in debug mode. That's why you see. Let me try to increase this. That's why you see through here secret key. A secret key is very good, especially because it helps with encryptions. Now, like as we move on, you realize that of course secret keys help they are used in Django to make some of the things secure. Now, like when you're working with forms, there is something called a cross-site request forgery token. I believe the secret key is used to kind of like do what, like make the token stronger to stop anyone from attacking our website or our forms. Allowed hosts. Yeah, allowed hosts. If at all we are hosting, yeah, you plant your domains there. Install apps. Install apps is very, 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 very crucial here. Like I said, Django comes with batteries included. Yeah, it will come with an admin interface that we shall see actually. Maybe just to give you a glimpse of what it looks like. Let me try to run this project again, and I bring this website, yeah, and then I try to. So once I'm on this website and slap and write /admin, yeah, it will bring me to Django administration. This is already a site that has been built to kind of like help you populate some data from the admin area. Yeah, because in the beginning actually Django was created in a newsroom environment whereby, yeah, articles were being written and then they were being published and made public on the public site. Yeah, so the admins used to log into that, the admin, so that they can upload. Yeah, but as we go on, actually we will end up doing our own. We'll end up writing our own admin area, yeah, to manage our things. Yeah, so basically with authentication, yeah, Django comes with authentication that we shall see and use. Content types, yeah, to support various content types. Sessions, yeah, sessions are used very much in logging in. Authentication, yeah, basically. Messages, yeah, and a message app, like things to do with now, like after you have logged in, there is a flash message that can come to show you, okay, you have logged in, blah blah blah. Yeah, the messages app does that. Static files, if at all we are going by static files, we mean images, JavaScript files and CSS files. Yeah, this app manages the static files. Yeah, and I remember once the server was starting here, I think it came up with some warnings here, because it is saying you have 18 unapplied migrations. Your project may not work properly until you apply the migrations of apps, admin, auth, content types, sessions. Yeah, so these apps here you're seeing here, that means it's like they're saying that they require some tables in the database in order to work properly. Yeah. So right now, since we haven't yet created the tables in the database, that's why it is yelling at us. But if you want it to stop yelling at you, there is a notion we use. It's called actually it's not a notion we use. It's what actually Django uses. You just type in migrate, Python manage.py migrate, then you'll see something applying. So actually they are getting all these it's like they are creating the tables for these apps. Yeah, so when I do run again here, it should stop yelling at us. Yes, now you see it has stopped yelling at us because we have actually created the tables in the database. And actually the database is here. It is called db.sqlite3. yeah, SQLite3 is a lightweight database that comes with your Python installation. Yeah, so even as when you create our own apps, we will actually add them to this list of what? Of apps. Yeah. Like it's exactly in this Notion. Maybe my app, then you put a comma, blah blah, because there will be very many apps, and just like they are saying, most of these apps are pluggable. What you do, the app you don't want, you can just remove it, but it makes sense to remove it before you make the migrations. Yes. All right. Okay, moving on. Middleware, we shall not touch middleware for now, but basically middleware, like you see, things to do with security, cross-site request forgery, it's handled in the middleware here, but it's not important. And then it's not important in this context of, since we are just beginning with Django, but we shall have time to look through it. There is online 52. There is what they call the root URL conf, which means the root URL configuration. It's like, it's the entry point to our application. The root URL configuration, as in the URLs, or I could call it the table of contents. Yeah, and it has been made in such a way that it is my site.urls, which actually transverses to this. My site here, when you go into my site, there is a urls.py file, right? Yeah. So basically, okay. So basically, while you're starting your application, this is the URL file that will kind of like help the app transverse most of the routes. Yeah. Templates. With templates, it's all about telling Django where the templates are. We shall create custom folders all around the place. Yeah, all around the place. Maybe you can just come here and say templates. If at all you want your templates to be inside there, then if at all we are guaranteed that we want our templates to be inside there, then we can just say okay. There is a variable called base dir. Then actually even here they put an instruction on how to add this. It's like base dir, then slash the folder. Yeah, so we can just come here and say okay. By template, actually I mean the HTML templates. Yeah, the HTML templates that we shall be using, then slash, put a space, and then templates. Yeah, so it will look for this folder for all our templates. Yeah, and just like that. Yeah, hope we got it right here. Yes, exactly. Then WSJ application. Yeah, WSJ application is like this is the path that will be followed when to connect the like I told you, this WSGI file, it's the one that actually will talk to the WSGI server to run our application, right? Yeah, and when you look inside here, though I said won't be changing anything, there is a what? This is actually the instance of our application. Yeah, that's why you see here it's kind of like it's my site. It's kind of like they're mapping up the route to it by saying my site .wsgi, which is the module name here, then .application, which is the app instance. All right, but this shouldn't worry. With databases, db.sqlite. Yeah, so when you transverse here, it is here. It is in our base directory. Now our base directory in this case is lesson2 / when you enter db.sqlite3. Fantastic. Password validators, these are the validators used to work on the password. Then internationalization. Yeah, the language code, the time zones, the static files. Yeah, we're also going to create a folder where these static files will be found. And yeah, this is new. The default autofield. Yeah, we shall look into that later on. Yeah, so basically that is kind of like the the overall layout of our project, of our settings file. And now with the URLs, I think this one you saw it somewhere under the root configuration, the URLs to our project, the main URLs file. You see we only have one, /admin. That's why you saw actually that this link worked here. This one, that's why you saw that it worked. Yeah, because that URL is already there by default. Yeah, when the URL is starting, it doesn't this all this it chops off. It only looks for this. That's why actually this that's why you see here it's only /admin/, but it actually worked. Yeah, but we shall see others as we move on. Yeah. Okay, as I finalize, I'm going to create an app. Yes, like I said, in Django there is this notion of apps and projects. Yeah. So one big project now, our big project is called My Site. The My Site contains basically the settings and the apps. Yeah. So I'll use again this command, python manage deploy. I'm assuming we are going to create a blog app. Then you're like start app blog. Yes. So once we do that, once we do that, we should have a folder called blog somewhere here. Yes, exactly, it's here. Yeah, and this blog also, you realize it has this, and then it has a lot of these, which we shall look at next time. All right. Yeah, so basically I just wanted to introduce you to Django. Yeah, but on Monday we shall do a deeper dive. We shall understand how the file structure of an app, all these in detail, and then we shall run something. We should have something. Yeah. So I think we should call it a day for now, but I'll take 1 or 2 questions before we can call it a day.